All right, may the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in Yahweh's sight. He is our strength and our redeemer, and it is in his name, which is his authority, that we pray, praise, proclaim, project, and protect tonight's message. Amen. Um, Tadach Yasler, Kwam Yasler, Anai Kofi, Head of Servants of Christ, Mashalom Che, Barak Allah Cham Yahweh. Hello, everybody. I'm Pastor Kofi, Pastor Servants of Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time by being a voice of the voices and speaking the unspoken. Glad, thankful, and grateful to have an opportunity to be in front of you guys one more again. Thank y'all for being on. As always, we give all honor and praise to the Most High. Yahweh Elohim. We give all praise and honor to him for my wife, the Honorable Maya, who lives a life that's able to be honored. You can check her out on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish, not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. Thank you guys for being on so very much. We appreciate you. Come on in from all places, YouTube, TikTok. We appreciate you. For being with us one more again. How you doing, Minister Shantae, Sister Tori, Sister Lori, Minister Tamara? Hello, everybody. How you doing, John? To Lottie Di and everybody, to the moderators, Ministerial Stuff SOC, the moderators, I bow down. I appreciate you. Do what you do. We ask that everybody come on in. Feel free to ask whatever questions that you want. Feel free to question whatever you want. We ask that hopefully you weren't questioning just for the sake of questioning, but if you're using the ad hominem, if there's cursing, if there's anything of the like, we do have moderators in place for a specific reason, and if they have to make sure that they are protective of this platform from people who might be abusing said platform, then we may have to, we may have to have, or they may have to have it to where you're not going to be on here. So we ask that you guys be respectful of others as you come on, but thank you for being on. We appreciate you. So tonight, I want to continue where we left off. Thank you for the reminder that I received earlier to make sure that we were on point again. We're going to talk about the in-between. We kind of left on that of the in-between. We talked about the median earlier today. The media really is the go-between. It's the in-between. And we ended by focusing on you need to start becoming a media for yourself, a medium for yourself. Can you be able to talk to yourself in the in-between? Right? The in-between. Many people focus on their birthday. Many people come and give you love and your flowers on your funeral. But what you're going to be remembered for, even on your funeral placard, on your tombstone, whatever it is that you have, people will remember you for the dash. People will write about the dash. Right? You might know when somebody was born. I might be able to tell you Pastor John Brown was born in the year 1800, but I remember more about his dash. I might even be able to tell you some of the stuff he said on his before he died and closed his eyes, but I don't know what happened at his funeral, but I can tell you what happened in the dash, in the in-between. And you need to start developing the in-between. Now, something interesting about the in-between that happens is that many people in between, many of our in between, if you will. How you doing, Sister Deborah? How you doing, Darius? Many of us, when we start talking about the in between, how you doing, John? If I didn't say so already, many of us, when we deal with the dash, the in between, and Sister Monica, I hope I said hello. I think I did. The in between gets difficult for many because many people doubt your in between. You doubt your ability to make sure that you go towards your expected end from your starting destination. There you go, right? And really, we can't even control life in the in-between. I'd even take it a little further, right? I don't even know how much we can control. I do know this. I know that the one who's in control gives us proper things. And see, watch this. Certain scripture, you consider the cost. Sure, consider the cost. Consider what you're getting into in the in-between. But have you ever thought about the fact that many people don't live in their in-between in the more than enough? How you doing, babe? My wife is on, the Honorable Maya. Please check her out on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish, and also Bloom and Flourish 2. Not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She's a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. Have you ever considered that many people don't think about more than enough in their in-between? My starting point, my destination. But in getting to your expected end, or really, it's not even your expected end. It says Yah has an expected end. So what you expect, far more often than you might want to admit, is usually going to be way less than what the Most High has for you anyways. And we just be honest about it. Can we just be honest for a second? Most of us, we think that the in between, that we got it, that we know what's going to happen, but you don't really know what's going to happen. But are you really aware? How you doing, Samaya Lorraine, MIT Samaya Lorraine? I don't know if you're really aware about what's really about to happen in your life. I don't know if you are really aware of what Yah's really about to do in your life. But I want to tell you that it's going to be more than what you can bear, more than what you can think, more than what you can ask. I see in the in between, it's easy to get into this whole thing. I want to give you a reminder that Yah is not fascinated with meeting your expectation. Amen. Right? He's not fascinated with your expectation. He'll hear it. He likes when your expectation is to let him do what he does. But your expectation far often never equates to a fraction of what he really wants for you. How you doing, Nurse Betty? Right? I need you to comprehend that today, right? That you're in between, right? You're thinking about the expected end, and it's your expected end, which is part of the problem. But I need you to comprehend your in between is about to be exceeding abundantly. I used to say that scripture wrong. I used to say, now unto him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly, but that's not what it says. It says, now unto him, which is Yah, who's able to do exceeding abundantly. Now, if you live in abundance, you probably think that that's enough. And by the way, I'm not saying it's not enough, but hear what I'm saying. Most of you think that humility means just give me enough, right? But what if what he's giving you is bigger than the street corner? Amen. It's cute, but his ways are better than our ways, right? What if what he's giving you is bigger than your thought process of what your business is supposed to do? You said that once you realize what he actually done for you, you'll praise his name because he's so powerful. I'm on, right? What if he's about what he's about to give you, right? And hello, Sister Nadine, if I didn't say so. What if he's about to give you exceeds, right? And what if what you're about to go through, therefore, exceeds? Ooh, that's the in between. That's when it starts getting tough. He's about to do something that exceeds what you think is going to happen, which means you're about to go through something that exceeds what you thought you'd have to go through. The question is not whether you can make it. The question is, will you go through it? I felt that one. I felt that. What do you say? I feel that in my shundo, right? I felt that one. Holy Spirit, she's spitting already. Look. Are you ready to go through exceeding? I'm asking Yah for more wealth. Okay, you got to go through more to get more. I'm asking Yah for more power. Okay, I'm going to have to get rid of more weakness so that you can hold more power. I'm asking Yah for more room for things in my life. Okay, I'm going to start focusing on your gift to the point to where it's going to be painstaking. But if you want room in every area of your life, then we've got to deal with every area of your gifting. Why? Because it's your gift that makes room. Come on. Come on, guys. Talk back to me. How you doing? Truth reigns, right? He's about to exceed, right? To whom much is given, much is required, right? He's about to go exceeding abundantly. He's about to exceed abundantly. You're busy asking for abundance. Some people aren't even asking for abundantly, but you're focusing on abundance when he's trying to exceed your expectation. See, this is how kingdoms work. How you doing? This is how kingdoms work. This is how kingdom works. We talked about this before in a monarchy. How you doing, Big Brother Thomas? We talked about this before in monarchy. If you're dealing in a monarchy, if you go in front of a chief, if you go in front of a king, if you go in front of a queen, if you go in front of royalty, and you try to give them something, right? You must give them something. And whatever you give them, they must always give more. Because the second you can outgive them is the second that they are no longer in position. So if they are the king, you cannot outgive the king. If they are the queen, you cannot outgive the queen. See, if this was your king, if the kingdom mindset was in your house, it'd be different. See, if you give your, if you better respect your mother, but your mother can't be outgiven. She has to give more respect back. You can't outgive your spouse, right? If you outgive your spouse and they don't give you something better, then they're not really the king or queen they say they are. If you give them something in their love language and they don't, and they skip out on giving you what you need in your love language, we've got a problem. If somebody gives you humility, your humility should be great. It can't be, see, and it's not a contest. It's about kingdom principle. If my wife gives me her best, I better give her better. Y'all don't want to go through this. How you doing, Sister Kimberly? You people don't want to talk back to you and stuff. But see, your in between could be affected because in the in between your beginning and and towards the end, you are expecting. You keep waiting for things to happen as you expect in between. But see, here's the thought. Here's the end. You don't even know when the end is. You don't even know where the end is. You don't even know how the end is. So how in the world are you going to know when the middle is? Where are you? We're so busy thinking we know exactly where we are. Write down the vision for sure. Be mission oriented for sure, but never make the mistake of thinking that the vision is on your watch. This is why I tell people I'm not in control. Hey, how you doing, Latoya? Right? This is why I tell people I'm not in control. People are so busy trying to be in control. I don't even have self-control because I'm not in control of myself. I listen to what Yah says. How you doing, Sister Therese? I listen to what Yah says. I'm not in control. People get mad. Well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you look? I'm sorry, you got with the wrong person if you thought I was in control. Now, I'm diligent, I'm obedient, but I'm not in control. And this freaks people out when you speak like this because you think your lack of control means your lack of authority, but you're only authorized because somebody authorizes you. Watch this. Start making room now because what's coming is greater than what you have room for. Stop trying to control it and be like, hey, I've got 5% space left. Yah's trying to give you 25% space, or 25%, or something that's going to take up 25% of your space, and you're so busy trying to control all these different things. He's told you fast. He's told you get rid of that. He's told you sow into this person. He's told you get rid of that. He's told you stop being a part of this organization. He's told you stop trying to bring up all your fears. Stop worrying about what you did yesterday. And here you are still being disobedient. If I'm talking to you, that's great. If I'm not talking to you, just listen. Maybe you need to tell this to somebody else. But for who this is for, you need to hear this tonight. You need to hear this tonight. I'm not in control. I have temperance. Somebody wrote in self-control and you just started saying self, which means self-control. I have temperance. That means that I know the temperature. And when certain things happen temperature-wise, the one who's in control has already told me how to deal with it. How you doing, Sweet Pea? Right? Could it be possible that your in between is all over the place? I feel like I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with that. I don't remember this. I can't do this. That's too much on my plate. It feels like I'm sitting here, but I don't get anything done. Right? You need to be faithful to this. Write down the vision, make it plain upon the tablets, make it plain upon the tablets. He or she that readeth it can runneth with it. Right? And then start making room. And start having faith. So that when it's time to put in the work, see, you're putting in work, thinking that you're putting in work according to your time. This isn't about to happen in your time. I don't even know if this is going to be deep. I don't know if we're going to go. It doesn't seem like we're going to be line upon line, precept upon precept, even though we are, right? I don't know how many verses we're going to go into, but somebody needs to get this. You need to be ready for more than enough. Do you think Yahweh blesses you according to your measure? Thank you, Holy Spirit. I was looking for this in my head. He's getting ready to bless you beyond measure. Do you know what that is? Can you measure what's beyond measure? You are absolutely right. You are not ready for what's coming. Come on now. You are absolutely right. You are not ready. He doesn't ask you to be ready for what's coming. He asks you to be obedient. I can attest that when what you desire shows up, it's bigger than what you can handle anyways. There are many times I'm doing what I'm doing. I feel I'm like this, just trying to hang in there. I feel like I'm on a on a roller coaster. I have no control, but I'm trying to control something. But you're not ready for it. You're absolutely right. It doesn't mean that you're not called to it. Come on, somebody, right? Did you hear that? You are absolutely right. You are not ready for it, but it doesn't mean you're not called to it. That's not nonsense. That's not me hitting you with cliches. That's not me just hitting motivational speech only. I'm trying to tell you that you are absolutely right. What's coming is something that you could not envision if you had 5 million more years of life. You are not ready for what's coming. You are not ready for the people that are ready to listen to you. You are not ready to be on the news. You are not ready to be on social media like this. You are not ready to make sure that you build. But that's why it's not on you. Because if it was on you, the stuff wouldn't have happened in the first place. Come on. Come on, Abakakudash. Preach. You are not ready for this, but it doesn't mean you weren't called. I don't like saying it. It seems like it's oversimplified, but sometimes you just got to be obedient. You are not ready to step out on this. That's why you have to step out on faith. Faith is when you're stepping out on something, right? Stepping out on faith is I'm stepping out on the unseen, trusting in what I hope in, and believing that Yah will make it physical manifestation, and looking at His record in my life and seeing that every time I've stepped out on faith, He's never failed me. And thank you for the love, by the way. Appreciate it. You hear what I'm saying? You are absolutely right. Faith kicks in. I don't know how I'm going to do this for my child, but faith kicks in. When you were in the world and you were still doing cirque stuff and you were still doing Christianity and you were still doing Santa Claus and all that, you knew Santa Claus wasn't real. Somehow, some way, though, you was going to make your baby think one more year that Santa Claus was real, weren't you? Because even when they built the Tower of Babel, they had to be stopped because if they agreed with it enough, it was going to happen. How you doing, Miss Pierce? It was going to happen. You hear what I'm saying? Are you agreeing with the Babel in your life so much that it keeps happening? And now watch this. Here comes y'all trying to break it up. And you holding on. You're not in control. The in-between is a mug, as we would say back in the day. That in-between is a mug, yo. I'm in between like a mug. I don't know if y'all said that where y'all was, and I used to say we used to say that, right? But that in between is something else. We used to say another M word, but I don't say that anymore. Praise y'all, right? But that in between is something else because you are absolutely right. It's difficult. It's difficult. There's gonna be some pain there. You said like a mug too? Okay. Yeah, it's difficult. It's painful. If I have to have more people that I'm going to connect with, does that mean I'm going to have to forgive more people when they let me down? More than enough. The in between. Come on. I want more, so that means I got to go through more. How you doing, Sister Shima? But that's why the suffering of this present time is not worthy to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed. How you doing, Miss Reed? Right? It's hard. The in between is hard. You haven't gotten to where you're going. You started. You haven't gotten to where you're going. And in faith, you're taking the steps and you're considering the cost every day and you're crucifying the flesh. But you're being prepared for something. Watch this. Do you know that you're about to do something by definition because you are different than anybody else who's ever existed? Do you not know you're about to do something that nobody else before you has done and nobody else after you shall ever do? Are you aware of that? If you're aware of that, that means that you're about to go through something that's never been seen. How you doing, Goose? You're about to go through something that has never been seen. So that means you're probably going to go through some things that nobody's ever seen, right? It doesn't mean that you can't have anybody to talk you through anything. It doesn't mean that there's not anything similar that hasn't happened. It doesn't mean that there's not anything written to be able to help you through it. But hear what I'm saying. You're about to go through a journey that nobody's ever seen. It's tough. That Abraham journey, yeah, it's tough. Abraham, I need you and to know your wife and have a child when both of y'all shouldn't be able to have any children. It doesn't make sense. To the point to where Sarah, the wife, says, just take Hagar. And then she sees that it's not right and she wants Hagar kicked out. And Abraham's like, what in the world am I supposed to do with this? And Yah says, stay with your wife. I'll take care of your child. Let him go into the wilderness. You ain't seen that before. Not from a great father. But he says, trust me. I'll take care of your children. Abraham knows his wife and has a child. I'm going to keep my promise. Abraham goes and takes his son, not knowing what's about to happen. Finally, sacrifice is what's on the menu. Lays his son down, raises the knife. Abraham, your son's sacrifice wasn't great enough anyway. But because you're faithful, now I got to bless you even more, right? You mean I might have to put, and look, I'm not saying I don't have that Abrahamic faith. I don't think I have it in me. You mean I had to put my child on the chopping block? However, think about it. Some of your children are wilding out and you won't even allow them to go through situations. If you would allow them to go through the situation, y'all might have a ram in the bush. Once again, we got control. See, that in between is something else. People aren't going to remember your born day as much when you pass. People aren't going to remember your funeral as much. Maybe they will. Maybe they give you your flowers. But people who come back to visit your grave, they come back because of the dash. How you doing, 462953? Elder shall serve the younger. Ishmael is older than Isaac. Lamont, right? Come on. You are you ready? Look, Israel has what we have because Esau let go of it for a bowl of porridge. He couldn't handle the in-between. Esau, you started off as the firstborn. Esau, you should have been faithful. You would have had the stomach for this. That's why the Esau spirit is crazy. You don't even got the stomach for this, Esau. You can't make moves because you want an empty stomach. How are you going to be able to have your name go down for generations? How's the Messiah going to come out of that? You gave up your birthright. What was yours, your inheritance, guaranteed to you. Because you were hungry in the moment, the in-between. Hear me, family. Hear me, brothers and sisters. Hear me, children. For those of you who consider yourself to be spiritual children. Hear me, fam. You might be hungry now, but hunger, right? Hunger pains when you're fasting, they come in waves. Now, I'm not saying Esau was fasting, but Esau, yeah, you did some strenuous activity, but if you had waited long enough, even if you were incapacitated, you would have been able to get up. Are you willing to go through what it takes? Are you willing to lay down there long enough? Are you willing to watch this? Yashua was in the wilderness too, and he had a similar situation. The devil tried to trick him out of his birthright, said, turn these stones into bread that you might eat. What did Yahshua say? He said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that's uttered out of the mouth of Yah. He had already fasted 40 days, was tested then. He would be tested 2 more times. And then after that, finally, the angels came and saw about him. And he was able to get his strength back. But there's a time when you're going to have to be hungry out here in the in-between. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for this? You hear what I'm saying? You're asking for more. That means you got to go through more. If you want to get to the in between is preparing you for more. If you want less, do less. But you can't do less and expect more. It's time. It's time for you to come up. People say, I can't give anymore. I'm here to tell you, there's always more. Let me be your coach right now. You know, when you go to the gym and you got your coach, right? You got your trainer and your trainer. Let me do your trainer right now. You're sitting up there and you're saying, I can't lift it. I can't do anymore. My arm's about to fall off. They say, go, let's get it. Yeah, you got it. Don't give up. Don't give me that. You know why they're saying that? They have been trained to know what your body can and cannot take. They look for certain signs. They ask you how you're doing. They ask you what you eat. They put you on a regimen. If you follow everything to the letter, you'll still think that you can't do your best. Why? Because you don't think it's possible. You don't think you can do it. My son, right? We just worked on, he finished his first little beat on the computer, right? He's been learning more and more about music, and he's been getting better on the keyboard and stuff. And so we've transitioned to there to where now he's making beats on the computer. And we don't have the hookups. We don't have the setup yet all the way to where it's like a little studio yet. So he's having to do things by typing it in through the keyboard rather than actually playing an actual like keyboard, like piano type keyboard. He's using like an actual computer keyboard to have to try and do the stuff and make the stuff happen. So we finally were able to do it. It actually turned out pretty deep, especially for his first one. But I mean, actually like something that like is a couple steps away where I might put it on the album, like it's actually pretty decent. Right. But he was having a problem where he was trying to do something he hadn't done. And I kept trying to tell him what to do, when to come in, when to play. I said, I'll clap with you when you need to press that key. I'll tell you, right? If this is what you're hearing in your head, I'm going to show you how to get it out your head. And he kept coming in too early, or he'd come too late, or he'd freak out, or he'd think. And all I was asking him, sometimes it was even something as simple as clap on the 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But when the count in came in, he would pay attention to the metronome, which is the thing counting him in. So it's telling him 1, 2, 3. So he starts listening to the metronome, not realizing that he's playing too early. So he's putting notes earlier than what he wants. And I'm telling him, son, don't pay attention to that. Son, don't be invested in that. Son, I've been doing this for a long time. Your father used to be straight musician. That's all I did for money at one point in my life. Hear what I'm telling you. Like, I know what it is to be able to write song, to write sonata, to write orchestral hits, to write different things like that, to do remixes of things, to travel the world, to have played with some of the best musicians and all this stuff. I'm trying to tell you, son, just listen to your father. And he was so flustered because he was waiting on something that he thought was there, not realizing that, son, like what I was asking him to do, even though it seemed easy, I was asking for discipline. And he realized that something as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, if he's not listening to the right source, even though it seems like the computer is who he should listen to, because the computer is the thing he's typing into, but his father is telling him how to manifest what he has outside the computer and make sure that it happens inside the computer. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you that some of you guys, you're not listening to the coach. You're not listening to the people that are there. You're not listening to the things that Yah has put in your life to bless you and how you doing, Henry? To bless you and to have you go to another level. It's time for you to realize and recognize that you're going to have to get pushed, and it's not going to feel great. It's not going to feel great. There's going to be some things that's about to keep you up, but you've always got more. And he didn't like the study. He felt like I was pushing him too hard. And then when I gave him harder assignments, he didn't like it. But then we listened to the finished product, and he realized he had a little song. Matter of fact, I'm a proud papa. I'm gonna let you listen to the song and go downstairs. Right? And when you hear the result, you go, man, 7-year-old doing this for the first time, that's pretty decent. Right? But when I tell you, he had to be pushed in a manner that he's never been pushed in before. When I tell you my son had to get pushed to be able to create this thing, right? And look, this is 7-year-old level, but I'm telling you, some of y'all be surprised with what this little boy did, right? But when I say he had to be pushed, but he had to be pushed by somebody who's got the experience. I'm not just some random cat out here. I've traveled. I've opened up, not my group per se, but I've written songs and opened up for people who sung my songs, right? While I was playing keyboard for people like Kirk Franklin. I've played in front of Gladys Knight. I've played in front of John Legend, right? I've done some of this. I played with Lee Greenwood, the guy who sings the country song "I'm Proud to Be an American." I've had a chance to be on stage with Gloria Estefan, right? I'm not the greatest musician, but I got enough skills and I got enough experience. I put out music before. I have enough experience to be able to do this. I've made a living before doing it. So when I'm telling you this, I'm thinking about things and angles that you have no experience in, son. Right? But when he heard the finished product, now he's been playing it all day to the point to where actually we did it yesterday. He's been playing it all day to the point to where it's irritating, but it's not irritating to anybody else. Or it's not irritating to him because that's his. He can listen to that all day. He got a result that's greater than anything he thought he could get. Why? Because he was willing to press, or somebody was willing to press him, and even if he didn't want to hear it. Right? I'm gonna let y'all hear it, right? And I want you to, and he'll be proud that I let y'all hear. I'm gonna put it on his little channel and everything, and put it on Patreon so y'all can listen and stuff. But when I tell you, we fought over this thing. When I tell you we fought, right? That might be the angriest, and he was respectful. I get why he was angry, but when I tell you this might be the angriest I ever seen my son. Real talk. When I tell you this might be the angriest I've ever seen my son. But when he got that finished result and he realized Daddy knew what he was talking about, now he can't stop playing. And I'm so grateful and thankful that it's happened in his life. But sometimes it has to happen. Sometimes it's got to go down like that. To where you got to be pushed in the area. Yah is pushing you. Don't get this thing twisted. He's pushing you in the area of gifting. He's pushing you in your calling. He's pushing you towards something. I don't even know how loud this is going to be, so I might have to have y'all listen back here. But I'm going to just play. It. Right? And I want to show you, now this is the push. This is the result. Right? Son didn't want to listen. Thought the dad was being too tough. Thought, if anything, I should be able to put something together and just clap my hands and just have fun. Dad wasn't letting him get away with it. And he was upset. He was frustrated with his father. He did not want to listen. He was really upset and frustrated and irritated that his father would push him to such a degree. How dare his father? That's the look that I got. But I was pushing him because as his father, as the one who had a hand in his creation, I'm giving a little parable, if you will, as the one who had a hand in his creation. You see what I'm saying? And see, somebody has to hear this. Somebody needs to know. Somebody needs to know what's going on. Uh-oh. Oh, did he? I hope he did not. He better not have erased it. Even if it's by accident, after I did all that to him. He better not have. Okay. Actually, this isn't it. Is it? Oh, this might be it. Okay. I'm about to say, I thought I was going to talk him all up and he done erased it. We better have a problem. I got to see what the volume is on here, though. Turn down the volume.
I've turned it down.
Okay. So it might be a little loud. Hopefully it's not too loud. Right. But so he was mad about something this simple, right? Even something like this. I'm going to even play a little bit without it. I'm going to play just a little bit for you. Hold on. Let me find it. Oh, I can't even. Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna just play it from the beginning. We're running out of time anyways, right? It's short and sweet. But I literally was trying to get him to go da 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 da, something like that, or trying to get him to do some simple 1, 2, 3 on the drum beat, right? I helped out with some of this, right? But he was all over the place. It was so frustrating because I was telling him he was gonna have to get better. He was gonna have to get more. He was gonna have to listen, and he did not want to hear that at all. But then after all this came, this is what he's been playing all day, right? Let me see. Turn up the volume.
I've turned it up.
Let's see. So this is his thing. Took us forever. Right? And he did not want to listen to this at all. But anyways, I'm gonna let it go from the beginning. Something this simple, right? And just doing simple layer upon layer, right? Little children don't have patience for this. They like to listen to it. We like to listen to a lot of stuff, the finished product, but watch this. So this is my son finally listening in and getting all this stuff out. Right? All right. So hopefully you'll be able to hear the whole thing. Here we go. Oh, no wonder. I messed up. Fast forward. Here we go. This part, he was so frustrated because I was trying to get him to just do this. Now just listen. I'm going to explain something in a second, but I just want you to listen to it. This little 7-year-old doing this. I'm going to show you something. And I messed with him here to show up. But I told him every once in a while you got to change up the beat. Okay. Now all this stuff, right? And all the stuff that we did, right? And all the stuff that we did, right? Okay, so with all this, y'all can't hear it because I got it layered, right? But literally in that, there's a part that's going. So there's a part that's literally a hand clap, right? Right? That's all it is, right? And this was irritating him, and he was ready to give up because he couldn't, because the thing will count in when it's time to record, and he kept going too early, right? Something that small got him ready to give up on the whole thing, and even this part right here, he couldn't hear. I gave him I said, let's do something that's Latin, was going to turn a little funky and really turn into almost like an old school, like 80s/90s hip hop type thing, right? All he could hear is, and he liked it. So we worked on this. And for a while, before we added anything else, this is all that was to the song, right? Now, this is a short song, right? But this is all he could hear. So since this is all he could hear, he couldn't get anything else. So in his mind, it was a boring song. Now, if you listen to the drum that comes in here, it didn't make sense because I was so I was doing that through the keys, right? And when that comes in, it didn't make sense to him because we were going track by track, right? So that sounds nice now, right? Right? Has it like, right? Has nice, like it's still like kind of like a little bit West African with a little bit of Afro-Cubano, right? But something like that, right? But he couldn't hear them together. And then when I was telling him to do the da 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 da, and then the da 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 on the strings, he was like, "This is boring. Like, what's going on?" But he didn't see it all. You see what I'm saying? And I was telling him, no, son, like just because you're not hearing everything together doesn't mean that it's not great, right? Right? Doesn't mean it's not great. And I said, when you build all this up, right, when we really mix this, because it's not even really mixed, when you get to this part, you're going to be all some people going to go, oh, right? Like you're going to change it up. And he wasn't ready for the change. He didn't realize that this was the end result, right? So we started at the beginning, and went through all this stuff. Now but he got through the change. He got through the in between. And now that we finished all that up, guess what? Now he'd be playing this all day. I'll be walking around, he'll be playing this all day, right? So what I'm trying to say is all this stuff that we're talking about, your in between is valuable. Don't get caught up and don't get frustrated and don't get led astray and don't say that you can't make it, right? And don't think that you can't get through and don't think because you're about to give up on all this in between and not see the end, not realize it. So now he walks around realizing, now I've got equity because he finally listened to his father. I got some equity, right? So now when daddy says, hey, trust me on this. Do this how I say do it. I know what I'm talking about. I know what it is to read music. I know what it is to write. I know what it is to study a lot of people. And yes, you're absolutely correct, son. See, and this is the part that we got to get. Remember I said you are not ready for this? You're absolutely right, son. Right? You're not ready for this because your father, when he writes stuff, I'm not trying to sound like anybody else. There are times that I want my music to sound but I don't write music because it sounds like somebody else. I'm influenced. But I'm not writing beats because I'm influenced by other people. You hear what I'm saying? I'm not writing the beat because I'm influenced by somebody else, right? I am influenced, but I'm writing the beat because this is what I feel. So if I feel like that, I'm writing what I feel, right? And you're not at the level yet to do that. I'm training you to get to a place where you stop worrying about, does it look like something or sound like something you've heard before? Or is it something that's not, or is it something that's exciting to when other people hear it? I'm not writing to hope that other people would like it. I like that y'all are giving great results about it, and I'll tell them that y'all like his song. But when I write, I'm not writing to make sure that everybody else is pleased. I'm writing to make sure that when I listen to it, I say, this is something that's in my calling. This is what I do, right? So I appreciate y'all. I got to go ahead and take my leave. I'm going to let the music play one more again, and we'll go ahead and get ready to roll out. We'll leave our information up if you'd like to be able to get in contact with us. Feel free to text us at the information that's up. We'll let young Prince Solomon, we'll let his music take us out as we leave the stuff up on the screen. Thank you guys for being on. We appreciate you as always. Please check out my wife, the Honorable Maya, on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. We thank you guys so much for being here today. You can text us or email us at this if you want more information on things we do, not just the live session, but things we do in the community, things we do to support business, things that we do to teach classes, Zoom meetings, life coaching, marital coaching, all this stuff. My wife's business, of course, as well, with herbalism. Texture of the month is still ageless. And we thank you guys so much for tuning in. So we appreciate you. We honor you. Take care. We had a little bit of issue with the updating of the website, but it should be taken care of. So look into some of that stuff. But we thank y'all again. We appreciate you. We honor you guys. And much love to you. Much respect. And be ready for what's coming in the in-between. All right. Appreciate y'all. If you're on YouTube, of course, all the information that we have, it's at the bottom of the description with the video. All right. Thank y'all for being on. We appreciate you. Turn up the volume.
I've turned it up.
Okay, so thank y'all so much. Appreciate you. We're gonna go ahead and take our leave on Solomon's song, and y'all take care. Remember, as always, just that you are loved, you are necessary, you're majestic, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in this system no longer have to be of it. Shalom, family. Take care. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace, and peace.